Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? My name is Tony Rosano, and this is another episode of the world famous, the University Love, the best podcast in 1, 2, 3 galaxies. Ladies and gentlemen, you and I, we just call the show Online Marketing Moves, and we are coming to you live today. Today is Friday, September the 17th, 2021, at the time of this recording. Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? Today, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to talk about something very important, and it will help you make a lot of money. We are going to talk about building a Rabid fan base. Okay. Now, the time of this recording, it's Friday, and tomorrow is college football. Well, here in America, it's going to be college football being shown on TV. All right. And so I was flipping through the channels today, and I saw the show I used to watch. It's called the Paul Feinbaum Show. If you've never seen this show, you should check it out. It's a radio show, and the host is named Paul Feinbaum. Now, first off, he started off in Alabama. He had a show. He was a reporter. He was a writer for a newspaper in Alabama, and then he started hosting a radio show. And then the radio show went from him talking to people, talking to guests, to basically it became a call-in show. And the people in Alabama, the people in Mississippi, the people in the Southeastern Conference, because college football, for those you don't know, he was basically doing college football shows for the SEC, people that watch the SEC, the Southeastern Conference. And so, but forget about all that. The best part of the show is the callers. Okay. He eventually just stopped interview. He would interview people every now and then, but the most important thing about the show was the callers. The people were very passionate. the people were very entertaining. If you never listened to that show, you should either type it in on YouTube or find a way to listen to a few minutes of it. I'm not saying listen to the whole thing, but and you would just hear the especially because now for him, he parlayed that into a more of a national spotlight, and he went from being just on a radio show in Alabama to hosting to being on ESPN to doing all these different things with ESPN, and I'm sure he made a boatload of money by now. And the show is still good. It's not as they have different callers now from a more national level from all across America now, because he's seen all across America now. But that show, when it was in Alabama, I'm not saying the show is bad or anything, but you should just hear the people. Like, the people were rabid. Like, the people were very excited. They was always excited to call in on Mondays. They was excited to call in every day. And they would say, they would have these back and forth conversations, and there would be fights between callers. And then he started having these things where they would get together sometimes at different games and all this kind of stuff. And he built something great. That's what I'm saying. He built it great. He wasn't looking for the callers to become a big part of the show, but when he started the show, it went that way, and he went with it. You know what I mean? Like, adjustment. Like, you start off doing something and you don't know. You start off doing something, you have an idea, and you start off doing it, and then it's going good, but it could get better. And then something happens, and it's like, okay, which way should I go? Let the river take you. If you ever been in the water, if you ever been in the river, sometimes the river will, like, I grew up on the Mississippi River. The river will pull you, push you where it wants you to go. And sometimes you should just let it. All right. And in this instance, if you're doing a show and you have a segment and it becomes very popular. You should go with that. Don't try to fight it. Don't say I don't want it. It's what the audience wants. It's what the people want. And his show, I remember I was driving through Alabama, and I started driving trucks, and I listened to a lot of sports talk radio. And so I started listening to this show, and I'm like, what is this? Because these people would just be screaming at each other. I'm like, this is amazing. Okay. And he was very insightful, and he had a lot of good things to say too. And so I just was like, this is a great show. But you could only get it in like a certain area. Then he moved to what's the satellite radio. Then he started doing that. Then I remember he was like, hey, well, we're gonna be a national show. And I was like, oh, this is so cool how the progression went. But let sometimes it's like if you ever seen Family Matters, okay? Family Matters was not supposed to be about Steve Urkel, but Steve Urkel came onto the show. He was a hit. It became about Steve Urkel. Um, Good Times. It wasn't supposed to be about Jimmy JJ Walker, but it became about JJ. JJ became the star of the show eventually because he was dynamite on screen. Okay, so Paul Feinbaum, I'm sure he wasn't looking for the callers to become the big thing about the show, but they became a big part of the show. And he parlayed that into a big contract with ESPN. And so for you to build and I'll give you another example, but we're going to have to do a podcast about this. I watched this Amazon thing, a 4-part documentary about Lulu Rowe. I never really heard of Lulu Rowe until my wife was watching it. And I said, what is this? And then they talked about network marketing. And then I said, sign me up. And so I watched it the last few days, and fascinating. Okay. And they started off as they was just selling clothes to retailers. And then they got the great idea to start selling it to other people. And it took off after that. But we'll discuss that some other day. But the point is to build a fan base like Paul Feinbaum has. There's a few things you must do. One, you must connect with the audience. You can't make it about you. It can't always be about you. Connect with the audience. What does the audience want? What do the audience need? And there's different ways you can do that. It's sort of like if you ever been in a relationship and you try to ignore all the signs that what your spouse wanted or what your girlfriend, boyfriend wanted, then that's the same thing. If they tell you, I need trust. I need to be able to trust you. I need to be able to, you know, I need to be able to, if I pick up your phone and look through your phone, I see no shenanigans. They need that kind of trust. And if you want to make them happy, you should definitely do that. Okay. And it's not about what you want all the time. It's about what the audience wants. I mean, at the end of the day, if the more successful you are, the more you will I'm not saying you have to be a pushover for the audience, but people want to hear what they want to hear. And if it's different topics, and I need to get better at this, you go to the Reddit, you can go to this place, that place, and find out what people really want to talk about. And then you make a podcast and you discuss it. All right. And you start figuring that stuff out, and it'll work for you. So Paul, he figured out what they want to talk about, and he went there, And another thing to build a Rabid fan base is having like making the call, because the callers, they feel special. Okay, the callers are like little celebrities, and so certain callers who are good, who are great, he gives them a little more time. He gives them a little more leeway. It's entertaining, and they go to bat for him. Everywhere they go, they talk about, hey, I'm a part of the Paul Feinbaum show. And somebody's like, what's that? And then they explain it. They explain it to somebody. And then they go, okay, I'll listen. And so for you, sometimes the best kind of marketing is letting somebody else tell other people how great you are. And so you need that. You want people to, you know, really discuss you because, and we talked about this before, sometimes referrals are the best. It's better than going out and paying for ads. People, somebody might listen, but they're not gonna really, but if so and so told so and so to really listen, then they'll turn on. They'll be like, oh yeah, my friend told me this, and then they'll start listening. And of course, everybody's not gonna stick, but some people will, and that's how you can grow even more. So you want to listen to your customer, you know, find out what find out what they want to hear or find out what they need. And then, it's not about you, but go do things that they do things that they want. Like if you if you have a radio show in Alabama talking about golf, it's not gonna really cut the mustard, you know what I mean? I mean, college football is like king, so you wouldn't really start talking about golf all the time, would you? Of course not. So you have to know the audience, know what they want, and take it from there. And then, of course, have the people, have the people talk about you, carry you. And these people, they probably went all across, and they was like, "Hey, listen to this show." And one time, it was a person that I work with, and they was like, "You gotta listen to this show." And then he was describing the show, and I was like, "Oh, I'll listen to that show." And he's like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, well, look at him, he's beating the drum. And so you need more of that. If you could get that going, then that would be great. And another thing that can help you really build up a rabid like fan base, or you know a just a rabid situation, is you can start doing exclusive things for those customers, for those listeners, for those followers. You can do like real exclusive things, like get them t-shirts, get them postcards, doing little things like that. VIP membership, you can do things like that. Real VIP membership, not just no, hey, here's a t-shirt and I'll call you once a month, like real VIP stuff. The more you make people feel special, the better off you will be. What I mean by special is, to give you an example, my man Ben Settle, if you subscribe to email players, it comes once a month, email players, and he will answer your questions only if you're an email player subscriber, nobody else. So, and then he'll answer your question or he'll respond back to you. But if you're not an email player subscriber, you get nothing. It's part of the subscription. And so that's a perk. And there's other places that you go that give good perks. Let's say Costco, for instance. Okay. Well, first off, if you're a membership, if you're a member, if you can't even go inside unless you're a guest of somebody. If you go to Costco, but when you go inside Costco, you get samples, you get this, you get that. It's a nice thing, and Costco, they make you feel so warm, they make you feel welcome, and you're like, you know what, I'm going to keep renewing my membership. And Costco has it down pat. They're great with that. So you want to start doing something like that, and the more you do that, the more you can make a customer for life, because at the end of the day, you want people that are going to be around forever. If you're producing books, you're producing videos, you're producing podcasts, you want people to watch them, you want people to open them, you want people on a consistent basis to be there for you. And so you want to build a fan base, you want to build a rabid following. Everybody's not going to be rabid, everybody's not going to be a VIP member, and that's okay. But if you can get a core of people, then you are in there. Okay, it's just like that article I read. I read it two or three times. 1,000 fans. You need 1,000 true fans to really make a living. And so does it have to be 1,000? Who knows? But you want to aim to making real fans, paying fans, not just free. Hey man, I'm on YouTube. I watch a YouTube channel. YouTube's free. I mean, they sell you information to China, but other than that, it's free. You don't have to spend any money. And that's free. Facebook is free. Once again, they'll sell you information to China, but that's okay if you like free stuff. And but at the crux of it, at the end of the day, you want people paying for your stuff. You want people to buy your shirts. You want people to buy your books. You want people to, if you have a special podcast, you want people to buy that. You really want to start generating money, because the faster you can start generating money, the better off you can. Because the most important thing is, the less you have to think about money, the more you are able to serve your customers, the more you are able to really get down, focus, hone in on your craft, and be the best, whatever, internet marketer, offline marketer, whatever. Be the best that you can be when it comes to being an entrepreneur and running your business. All right. So, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't, just go to YouTube, check out a couple of clips. Very entertaining, I must say. Some of my favorite callers were Jerome from Alabama, Phyllis, and it used to be a lady named Tammy. She died in a car crash, though. Rest in peace, Tammy. And it's another one. Oh yeah, it's a guy. He likes to drink a lot of beer. That's one of the clips I saw a month ago, and I can't think of his name. It escapes me, but he was just talking about he likes to drink beer, a lot of beer, Jack. And these people are very entertaining. These people are very lovely, and it's a very lovely show. And it's a great example of how to build a fan base, how to grow an audience. All right, and so, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you can grow your audience. I hope you can grow your following as much as possible. All right, and I hope you make as much profit as you can. Now, listen, when I say you want people paying for stuff, you don't want I don't want you just putting out any kind of junk. Like, of course, quality. Of course, you're gonna have quality for the people, but unless you can make $25,000 a month off YouTube, or $10,000 a month off YouTube, something like that, which would be great. I would try to. It depends on. I would try to definitely get people to start paying for something early on. All right. And so, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, that is it for the podcast. And why? Because the best kind of money is recurring money. Okay, subscription money. My wife, she has the membership to her chef club every month. These people, they pay every month, and she has like 50 to 100 people. So every month, that's like $10,000 every month. Boom, 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 boom. Consistent. Boom, 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 boom. And so you don't have to worry about how am I gonna make money. It's like, all right, I got this money. Now let's add on to that. All right. And so this is why you want people paying for some type of service, early on. You figure it out and make it work. All right. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, that's it for the podcast. We'll be back with the all new episode of Online Marketing Moves. I might drop a bonus video or something this weekend, but we'll be back Tuesday with the all new episode of Online Marketing Moves. But until then, my name is Tony Zano. Thank you for listening. And as always, everybody, peace.